Here we are. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. All right, this is the Former Athlete Society, and today we have a live Q&A call. So whether you're joining this live call or catching, it on YouTube on a replay, again, I say this every single time, but I am really glad that you're here because I know these calls are designed for interaction, right? Like this is why I try to do some of these live calls, right? And try to change it up a little bit where it's not always just me, right? Like I want to bring in some of the community. I want to bring in a little bit of an audience. So if you're live, awesome. If you're not and you're watching a replay, that's fine too, right? I try to design these so that you can come in, you can like the content, you can be part of our community, you can join us, we can have fun with it. But if any instance you're watching a replay, that's fine too, right? So today, I've come ready with a handful of some questions, right? And these questions are some of the most common questions that I get asked regarding the Former Athlete Society. I'm founder of that, right? I'm trying to build a community post-sports, post-collegiate athletics for you to thrive and be able to perform your very best in, right? And it's designed for former athletes, just like yourself, right? And again, it's to help guide you in this transitional period from sports, from moving, from having everything so structured to having things a little less structured and chaotic. So first question I have today was from an athlete. They submitted this. They sent it to me at I'm trying to think of the email right off the top of my head. They probably sent it to podcast@adamringler.com. I'll probably get a separate one like questions or Former Athlete Society at Adam Ringler. But again, there's 100 different ways you can get your questions to me, right? This question was, hey, Adam, what's your take on magnesium for sleep? I've been hearing it tossed around a lot lately. Is it worth taking, or is this one, is it a supplement that I shouldn't be doing? And again, that's a really great question. And I think there's a lot of context in this. So magnesium as a supplement has become one of those supplements that's getting a lot of traction online because it plays such a huge role in sleep regulation, especially for former athletes who are dealing with irregular sleep schedules or stress or work or just life changes, right? We've all been there where life seems somewhat chaotic and it can really irritate you, if you will. So I think there is different types. Now, there are different types of magnesium, number one, and not all of them are created equal. That's important to understand. Magnesium citrate tends to help more with digestion. Magnesium glycinate is usually what I have typically recommended for sleep. And it's better tolerated and more effective at maybe calming the nervous system. So if you're dealing with things like restlessness at night, tossing or turning or waking up at weird hours like 3 a.m., a low dose of magnesium glycerate, maybe 200 to 400 milligrams, about 30 minutes before bed could help. Now, I say all of this is that, listen, I'm not your doctor. I'm not, these are blanket recommendations, but there's some caution in that, right? So if you deal with somebody that, like your PCP or your primary care physician, maybe it's something to bring up to them, right? I don't pretend to be a doctor. I don't play one on the internet. But here's the thing. With any supplement, don't use it as a crutch. I'd rather you first check, are you actually getting off your screen 30 minutes before bed? Are you sleeping in a cool, dark environment? Are you staying consistent with your bedtimes? Because magnesium is really the cherry on top. It's not the sundae. So we shouldn't be focused on doing the extra, when you're not actually doing the foundational stuff that's really the cornerstone or the foundation of good, proper sleep, right? So a real world action step perhaps, right? Try this, run a 7-day experiment, start a sleep log, add in some magnesium glycinate in the evenings and keep track of your bedtime, wake time and how you feel. And if you notice some real change, then it's something to maybe consider longer term, right? But again, you got to track, you got to do the foundational hard work first. Now, I want to pause here because I think this is really important, right? Check the analytics. Listen, I need some subscribers. So if you're getting anything out of this, I need you to like this video, subscribe, turn on the notifications, be a part of our community. That goes a really long way into helping the algorithm and helping get this content out to people that actually can really benefit from it. So like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, hit the bell, do all those things. That helps us out. Second question we're going to tackle today is from a former athlete, right? And it says, when I walk into a commercial gym now, I just feel lost. There's so much equipment than my old college days. Should I be using free weights or should I be using machines these days, right? And this was from actually a former linebacker that was part of our former athlete society. And listen, I think this is a great question, right? I love this one. And as you know, right, this is where sometimes we got to let go of our ego and actually get really smart about the way that we train now that we're no longer 19 or 20 and we're well into our 40s, right? So back in college, we were probably, lifting on a structured program. You probably had free weights and Olympic lifts and movement screens and all of that, right? But now as a post-competitive athlete, nearly in your 40s, it's about your joint integrity. It's about training age. It's about your movement quality, right? All of those things can help your body love you or actually make your body absolutely hate you, right? So we got to be really smart and strategic with what we use. Now, free weights are great. They allow for full ranges of motion and better function, like functional carryover. But machines also have value too, and especially if you're managing nagging joint pain or coming off of an injury, or you just don't have the bandwidth perhaps to think about setup and safety, right? Machines remove a lot of the guesswork, right? I'm a big proponent of using machines, right? But how I like to think about it is that machines, I use it to chase maybe fatigue safety, and free weights to actually help keep, coordination and balance and movement quality sharp. So if you only got 30 minutes and your brain's already fried from stress or work or things like that, machines, if you're feeling sharp and focused, then get under the bar, right? So a lot of the times, what's the action step here, Adam? And it's this. You need to design your 4-week block with a somewhat of a hybrid model, right? Machines, maybe on some upper body days, some free weights on some lower body days. And that combination often keeps folks really engaged with your training without beating yourself up, right? So before I jump into question number 3, I do want to say this. I do have a website, right, where you can be part of our community. It's right here. Check it out. It's adamringler.com. And you can join us in the Former Athlete Society if you're getting any value from these videos. So adamringler.com, become a member. We'd love to have you there and be a part of our community, right? Question 3, is ankle mobility actually something I need to care about now? I'm not playing sports anymore, but I just keep hearing about how it's so important in athletics, right? And this was actually a former soccer player. Now, what's cool about this is, yeah, absolutely. Ankle mobility isn't just for people trying to hit Olympic lifts or deep squats. It actually matters from everything from walking up the stairs to running after your children to doing a basic lunge without compensation. One of the most underrated links between poor ankle mobility and knee or low back is essentially low back pain and joint discomfort. So if your ankle's stiff, your body will find movement somewhere else in a joint by joint approach. And usually it's in a joint that wasn't meant to do that job. And that's where all of the problems start. So I often recommend to people to start with this test. Kneel in front of a wall, keep your heel down, and see if you can touch your knee to the wall without lifting up your heel. And if you can't get over your own knee, over your toes by at least maybe a couple inches, it's worth addressing. And your real world fix, right, is just to simply add 5 minutes of targeted ankle mobility at the beginning of every training session. Now, this could be banded distraction drills. It could be a wall dorsiflexion pulse, or maybe just some loaded tibialis raises. Do it consistently enough, and you'll see how your squat, your walk, and how your knees will feel. Now, a couple different things for those of us that are new to this community, right? I'm Adam Ringler. I've been a strength and conditioning coach for almost 20 years, right? That's what I do. That's my job. And I want to make sure that you have this information. The information that I share with our current athletes, I want you to have it as a former athlete. And there's 100 different ways of doing it, but I've started this YouTube channel to be able to try to deliver some of this information and this material to you. So if it's something that you like, check it out, subscribe. I've already said it once in the show. I won't beg you for likes and subscriptions, but it certainly helps us out. The next question is, what kind of conditioning should I be doing, right? I'm not trying to run a marathon, but I also don't want to go out of breath just by simply climbing the stairs, right? And that is a fantastic question. This is a lot of where the tension from former athletes live. And it's that you don't need peak VO2 max anymore, but you don't want to feel like a couch potato either. So what should I do? The key here is finding a type of conditioning that matches what your goals are, your joints can tolerate, and what your schedule allows. And for some, that's rucking. That's what I do. Backpack or weight vest, I do it almost every single day. I'm going to do it right immediately after this video, right? I walk with, my light goes out, live show. I walk with a 40-pound pack, and I do anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. It's low impact. It builds your aerobic base. It actually helps strengthen your hips and your posture. For others, it's tempo intervals on a bike, 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off, repeat for 20 minutes, something like that. That builds some capacity without frying your nervous system, right? All of these things can actually help you, right? And if you used to thrive on team sport structure, you can even recreate that, set a timer, and do circuits that mimic maybe game-like efforts, 20 seconds of max effort hard work, followed by 40 seconds of recovery for 6 rounds, rest for 2 minutes, repeat for 3 sets. All of those things have application to improving your conditioning. And it's probably things that you actually really enjoy and like to do, right? And that's really important as well. That's very tactical, right? You need to find things that you actually like to do so you repeat it more often. Now, start with 2 sessions a week. One longer, maybe in a longer and steady state, and one shorter that's a little bit more high intensity. And when you mix and match those tools, like a rower, a sled, a hill sprint, an assault bike, it's not about chasing sweat. It's about building your work capacity. You do that consistently enough, body composition will change and your conditioning will improve for sure, right? Lastly, I got one more question on our live YouTube Q&A. So if you're joining us, I appreciate you. If you're watching the replay, that's cool too, right? Now, the next question is this. Do you believe in if it fits your macros, right? Like, does it really matter, Adam, if where your calories come from, right? If you're just trying to lose weight, right? And this was actually from a volleyball athlete I worked with in the past. Here's the deal with if it fits your macros or calories in versus calories out, when it negates or neglects perhaps the quality of foods and the nutrients that you're absorbing, right? And I think I might ruffle some feathers, and if that's okay, whatever, right? I'll have some people get mad. They'll send me angry messages, whatever. This really matters. Yes, at the basic level, weight loss or body composition change comes down to a calorie deficit. That's critical. You can't run away from that. But no, not all calories are equal. When we're talking about quality of life and energy and recovery and mood and muscle building composition. So 200 calories from gummy bears, or i.e. the sugar diet, does not give your body the same message or utility as 200 calories from salmon and rice. It just doesn't, right? If it's just about the number on the scale, fine. Maybe then macros, or if it fits your macros, that's fine. But if it's about training recovery, mental sharpness, and feeling like an actual adult with stable energy, then the quality of your food matters. Also, most people underestimate how bad they feel when their nutrition lacks fiber and minerals and stable blood sugars. So they blame that on stress or their training or their work-life balance, when it's about the food choices they're making. We got to grow up. We got to be adults. It's time. So what can you do today, right? How do you actually actionalize this? Well, you can not change anything And then just color code each food. Green for nutrient dense foods, yellows for foods that are okay, and red for maybe highly processed. If your log looks like a bag of Skittles, we got some work to do, right? We got to improve that log, right? So I'm going to say a couple things, right? That's going to be it for today's solo Q&A. If you're watching this later and one of those questions actually hits home for you, shoot me a direct message, a DM, right? Either inside the Former Athlete Society community or on my website, which is, again, that's at Adam Ringler. It's right here, boom, adamringler.com. You can join us there. We want you to be part of our community. Or more so, again, you can leave a comment in this YouTube video. And I promise you, I'll see those comments pop up and I will make sure that I reply to every single one of those, right? We are building this Former Athlete Society community together. That's really important to me. And your input drives the content. So I appreciate you being here, everyone. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I will see you in the next video, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you.